Welcome, fellow gamers, to the High Octane Couch Co-op podcast, where the action never stops and the gaming adrenaline is always pumping. Get ready for a jam-packed episode filled with excitement, camaraderie, and some serious gaming accomplishments. First on the track, we'll be revving our engines and diving headfirst into the Crew Motorfest closed beta. From high-speed races to jaw-dropping stunts, we'll explore all the thrills and spills this closed beta has to offer. Next, prepare to hit the gas with our top 3 gaming achievements. From defeating endgame bosses with a sliver of health left to completing the most challenging quests, we'll share our loudest moments and proudest moments that had us shouting victory at the top of our lungs. Now it's time for a pit stop as we shoot the shit, our unfiltered segment where we let loose, share hilarious gaming stories, and maybe even reveal our most embarrassing gaming moments. Trust us, you won't want to miss this. But before we continue, let's raise our glasses to Lord Beerstro as he guides us through another epic beer battle. Witness a clash of flavors as two remarkable brews compete for the title of Ultimate Gaming Companion. Who will be crowned the winner this time? So put on your gaming gear, grab your favorite beverage, and join us this exhilarating gaming journey. The Couch Co-op podcast starts now.
Nice.
Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op.
Hello, Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show, the greatest and only video game and beer podcast in the world. You can find us on all the social media platforms at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word, no hyphen. You can find our podcasts on youtube.com/milkmanpictures. You can find us on twitch.tv/the Couch Co-op Show. You can find us pretty much everywhere. I'm Ian, and I got Jared, I got Dave, I got Nick, I got John, and it looks like Aaron just popped in. So it's a full six-pack tonight.
Hello, boys.
How's everybody
Hello.
doing? How's everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Sweltering.
My neighbors are doing some crazy stuff across the street, so all I hear is banging and clanging. So hopefully you don't get too much of that in your ears.
Did one of them just lock their car?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's getting there.
No, I can't hear a thing.
Yeah, good.
Cool.
Well,
Awesome.
it's funny you said that because there was just a car beep.
Yeah. Well, no, I heard that car beep. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Gotcha.
Wow, what are we doing
Funny.
first? What is on the agenda?
How do you do a podcast?
How do you
This
do
is
this?
weird. I know. I
closed
mean, I haven't
beta.
been here for a week, so
No, Beerstro first, right?
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Beerstro,
What are you
wait, is that what we're
chugging?
doing?
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's time for the beer. What's going up against it this week then, sir?
Well, I don't know if I should wait for Aaron to actually join us. Or...
Oh, he's got the spinning circle of death, either that or he's muted. So let's
Okay.
just go.
Okay, well, since I guess it was Jared that wasn't here last week, but
That's
we have
right.
a new winner.
Yeah,
You
I
missed
started-
out.
Winner,
I
chicken
listened-
dinner.
I listened
I mean, it was
to
a
the podcast.
I mean, it was a very close race, but yeah, we've got Optimum right here as
Yeah,
our
that's
new,
great.
I guess, beer to beat, and so I don't know
boy.
how to approach this, but we've got a big ass can of
That's huge.
Notorious from. So,
Oh, shit.
Goodbye, Nick.
are you saying that was a good purchase, or are you saying your farewell to me?
Yeah,
Both.
your farewell.
I'm saying I know a little bit about Notorious, and there's a reason that it's called Notorious.
Yeah. And the sad thing is they actually do can it, but it's like maybe 1 or 2 times a year, and it's almost out as soon as it hits the stores. Um, but kegs are always available year round. So one of the accounts that I deliver, Cheap Charlie's out in Gresham, quick plug. Um, they've always got a keg of it on tap, so they were nice enough to crowd it for me. So this is the challenger for tonight.
Nice.
And
Nice.
appropriately enough, I'm going to be pouring it into the chutes.
Oh, where'd you get the Hoptimum? Because you were worried that was going to be hard to find.
Oh, I bought it at our local thriftway. That's not a thriftway anymore because it was available there. And when I say we, I mean me and you, JPK, even though you're not going to
Nice.
come back to KB.
All right. Well, which one are you doing first? Notorious, right?
Yep. Challenger comes out first. But, oh boy.
So you're saying you almost were forced to get a keg of that stuff instead of the can? Is that what you were saying?
No. It's I wanted to do
To get
Notorious
the keg,
at some point,
but you
but
restricted
it's
yourself and just got the can.
well, it was either the can or I was going to bring my own growler to
So
have
it's
that
actually a
filled.
crowler, so a canned growler,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Oh, really?
And
I didn't know
he
that was a
would
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If he
Yeah,
got a
look-
and-
growler, he'd have to drink the whole thing tonight. Yeah.
Well, I still have to drink the whole thing tonight, or I dump it.
Yeah.
But no, even that thriftway that I just mentioned, before the pandemic, they actually had kegs on tap, and they too had purchased a. Actually, I think they still. Excuse me, they still have it because they still have a cooler that they um, fill with crowlers and sell. So, like even Thriftway here in
Nice.
town, which
I'll
is
have to
not a
try. I haven't
Thriftway
had a
anymore.
crowler. I didn't know that was
What
a
is
thing.
it now?
Yeah, most crowlers you can get here, 32 ounces. They fill the can up,
Yeah.
and then they put it in this machine, and it rolls the top of it, so the lid goes
and
on
it
like a
just
regular
and
can.
then just
That's
seals
cool.
it.
Yep.
That's so
I've
cool.
never seen one operate. I've just seen the crowlers laying around.
It's funny. I've had crowlers, yeah, and I've never seen the actual machine in action.
Oh, I have.
Yeah, I only
They do it in
I
front of
only
you at
caught it.
Trapdoor.
Nice.
Yeah, and Cheap Charlie's did it in front. Like I've gotten a couple crowlers from him, and I just wasn't paying attention. And kind of same with this thriftway that's not a thriftway anymore. But yeah, it's a very simple process. It's just like they fill it with beer, like they're just filling something from the tap, like a regular glass. And then they just put the tap on, and then just kind of crank it down, and it seals. And that was a bit of a concern of mine because I think normally with the canning process in the industrial brewery portion, a lot of the air that goes in there is at least somewhat pure, as opposed to like just the air that's just kind of floating around in a grocery store or Cheap Charlie's. So I'm
Interesting.
not sure how this is going to turn out, but
So you're gonna see how good the air is in Cheap Charlie's. This is a Cheap Charlie air review.
yeah, and anybody that's been there
Charlie.
kind of knows what I'm talking about.
So
I mean, I
how
like
how
the
is
store,
so
but
how is that process a little bit different than how they actually just regularly can a beer?
I can't answer. I mean,
Yeah, I actually don't know
Because then it's
I
still an
don't
open
know
air
either
thing.
because
because I
They
think
still
I think
stamp it.
Ian's right because the can line does the same thing. It fills the can and then
and then
it like
Yeah.
folds the lid on.
so like when we
basically.
did the canning at Trapdoor, like they have a machine. It runs through. It fills it up, and then it rolls and it stamps it, and then it's like so you kind of
maybe, but maybe I'm also under the assumption that at least like for these breweries that are like making just regular cans, that
It's
they're
a cleaner
doing
facility.
right. It's either a cleaner facility or it's
Well,
under
okay.
like a different level of scrutiny.
sure.
Uh, as opposed to just doing it at just like a store where it's under the assumption that it's going to be
Someone farts into the can right before they seal it.
yeah, and that would be something that Rogue would come out with.
Yeah, but then you
it'll
hear
be-
all these horror
it'll be-
stories
It'll be
about.
placed right next to their
Yeah.
beer.
There's been horror
Ale.
stories about like that shit where like they find rats in cans and shit.
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
I
Mountain
don't
Dew
think
and
every
like.
I think it might be
Oh
the
my
way they fill
God.
it, because I know on Homebrew you can buy a filler for your kegs, and it
Uh,
puts the beer in, but it puts a layer of CO2 on the top, and the CO2 is heavier than the air, and it just sits there like a plug of clean air, essentially. And once you fill it to a point, you just cap it, and the CO2's in there, and there's no oxygen to, mess with the beer.
Interesting.
I know you can do it on a homebrew kegerator, and they call it like a beer wand.
Hmm.
So,
Well, how's
That's
the beer, Nick?
yeah, how is the beer?
Oh, I don't know. I've tried it. I haven't tried it yet, but
Oh,
yeah.
drink it. Try
Better be
it.
good. You've got 32 ounces of it.
Better be good.
Yeah.
get used to it.
That's a battle.
It's a battle worth fighting.
All right.
All right. Well, while you're like sipping
Take
on
it for the
that,
team.
while we're sitting on that, I got invited to the. I'm like on Ubisoft's list, so I like always get invited to their betas and shit. But this is a game I'm actually excited for. The Crew. I'm a big fan of the Crew games. I've have them all. There's only 2. Now there's 3, or there will be 3. So the
September,
Crew,
right?
yeah, the Crew Motorfest, closed beta this weekend. I invited people to play. I
I
don't know
played
how.
a little bit.
Played a little bit.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, I really like it. I'm excited. There's a lot of I don't know. My energy level is so fucking low right now.
I can tell. Yeah.
Right.
It's
Did I wear
beautiful.
you
It's
out?
really no. It was last night. The show last night. Just I stayed up way too late. It looks really great. It plays really well. I like the way it handles well. I think the tracks and courses are designed really well. I'm really excited that I can import my garage from the Crew 2 into the Crew Motorfest. So I will start with like 50 cars, which is super cool.
Nice.
Something that I think more video games should allow you to do. I think it's super cool.
Right.
It takes place on Hawaii. It has all this like Hawaii so I'm learning about my homeland while I race around Hawaii. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, destroying the place.
Yeah, destroying the place.
We're crashing through everything,
This place
breaking
is
all
a
the
smash.
barriers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed it. I mean, the graphics were spectacular. I thought it reminded me, like, had some of that sunset and nighttime graphics that Grand Theft Auto 5 had, except taken to the next level. Like, it's probably the prettiest car game I've seen in a long time. Just from it, not just from pure graphics, but the design was just nice and the places were nice. I like the fact it didn't punish you too much if you came off the road. Like, there were the trees, the small trees would actually break. They weren't like bollards that put you to an immediate stop.
Right.
So it flowed
But you
pretty
can
well.
rewind.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
rewind function. I never
There is.
used those though. There's a lot of games that have that, and I never use that shit.
I had to use rewind a lot. I would strongly recommend nobody plays it on a low end PC. I was getting maybe 15 to 25 frames per second.
You should have got it on your
It's
PS5.
very hard to play. Well, I was on the PC when I got Ian's invite. I'm like, I'm just gonna try it on my PC. It said I hit the minimum recommendations, and yeah, everything was on low, and I still had troubles playing it. So
Yeah,
don't do that.
I like the fact it was a 35 gig download as well on the PlayStation 5, so it wasn't humongous.
Yeah,
And it ran really well. It took me a while to figure out how to download it though, because I signed up and with my PS5 login, I didn't notice it had given me a code on the page.
Right.
And then I went in and it's like asking for the code, and I'm like, oh, tried typing in the code Ian gave me, but it was like not that code. It was a different code.
Yeah,
like,
I had to hunt down the PC download button. It wasn't easy to find.
Yeah.
I think one of the cool things I like about the game is even though it takes place on Hawaii, they do these playlists, and then there's one of the playlists is Japan playlist, and so it's like kind of the history of all the classic '90s Japanese cars, but then they do this they try and make like Hawaii than like Japan, and they have like some Japanese stuff, and it's all like at night, and it's all like kind of glowy and street racy. So like it's not. So even though it's on Hawaii, it's like each kind of playlist has its own kind of
Yeah, I played
theme, you know. So it's kind
the
of
9/11 playlist, and that was pretty fun getting to play like some of the different Porsches. I didn't complete it, but
um. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I liked how it made you do a little bit of each type of race type as well at the start. Just do like kind of a lap of almost of a course.
Yeah,
Just
the
to
tutorial was really cool. Like, kind of
yeah,
basically, I thought that kind of threw you in. And then that was the other thing. I was talking to Dave about this. They added, so they've had like high end sports cars in the game, but they added this kind of segment for racing where you pit. So like instead of having like pit for like tires and gas, it just has this like grip meter, and as you play, your grip meter lowers, and then you have to pit. But it's really quick. It's not like something. It's just like an arcadey way of pitting, as opposed to like a simulation game where you have to pit because it takes forever.
yeah, you have to do your strategy and all the rest
And
of
I
it.
thought that was kind of a cool like new kind of gimmick I haven't seen before. And then
Yeah, it forces you into the pit. So it's not like, oh, you missed it, so you're screwed. It actually forces you in.
well, that for that because that's teaching you how to do it.
Yeah.
It's not like that in the
Yeah, I imagine if you tried and stayed out for the whole race, it would be different.
Yeah.
Then you can unlock boats and airplanes. So the first plane I flew around in a old like World War II Corsair. That was kind of fun. It was just
Nice.
random, and you just
Yeah, I should have unlocked. If I'd have known about that earlier, I probably would have played a bit more to unlock that because that sounds more fun to me.
because it's got
So
Hmm?
so I played through most of the intro multiple times because I had to keep changing settings, and it does not save you progress through that tutorial
right.
intro thing. So you got to keep redoing it if you have to keep adjusting settings on a PC. So I never made it past the tutorial.
Oh, that's too bad. That's a quick
Yeah.
tutorial.
Yeah, it was hard for me.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
I had hope in my computer, and it didn't work as well as I was hoping.
It's also got motorcycles, ATVs. The last game had like monster trucks and shit, so I'm assuming they'll probably have monster trucks again.
Yeah, I figured
It's
they
like
would with that
Motorstorm.
off-road kind of bit.
Well, it's bigger than motor because they have airplanes, they have jet boats, they have hovercrafts, they have
It's what Motorstorm could have become
yeah.
Yeah,
if
I mean,
if its developer didn't die.
I must admit, I was like driving around the world thinking, okay, when are they going to set some kind of open world Grand Theft Auto-y type game in this world? Because they've spent so much time making this great map that, if I reckon they could
Well, that was
do more with it. If you know
that
what
was
I mean.
always well. It is open world. Like if you don't, if you
No,
just,
but I mean, make almost like another game that
Oh.
isn't the Crew. That's like based on something else, but that's the world it's in. Because I mean, it's a great map and
it's
with a lot
interesting.
of detail.
The original The Crew, the whole big thing about that was that it was the entire country, the whole United
Yeah.
States, and you could drive from
Minus
one
a
coast,
lot of
minus a lot
big
of here and
cities.
there, but you could drive from one coast to the other, and it took me like an hour or so.
It was a cool game.
to drive and that game was a little bit different. Your crew was kind of, and that was only racing, and it was kind of this street racer, just got out of prison. I don't know, you went to jail and you got out of jail and you're trying to get, I don't know, had a really bad story.
Yeah.
And then they kind of did away with that with The Crew too, and it just became this, we're gonna do like everything. So airplanes, we're gonna throw all this other stuff in it, and it's gonna be this massive open world thing. So it's the country again, the United States, and it's just all this random. It's like a Ubisoft ass game, and I feel like this one, they kind of pare it down and like specialize some stuff more, and kind of brought more of that car culture into it, which I like. Because The Crew 2, while fun, is just a lot of game, and they supported it. They still support it. Like they just gave away a bunch of free cars in preparation for this to come out. So I mean, that game has been going. I mean, I bought it. It must be like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah.
It's
been a while.
Right.
I just realized though, as much as I enjoyed it, I don't think I'm going to buy that game. It's just not.
It's not your. I know.
It's not my thing. It was really well done, and I could see how you'd love it. I don't know why. I just don't seem to be able to get back into driving games or driving simulators.
I
as
love
a
it. I love racing games.
standalone kind of game type.
Didn't you
Like I
beat?
don't.
Didn't you beat Wreckfest though?
Oh yeah, I did. That one was pretty good. I liked that one. I think I just don't like the out and out racing. I do like the kind of the more crash
Destroy
and bash stuff. Yeah,
You need
Destru-
some action.
I've always liked Destruction Derby over like Ridge Racer and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at anyway.
All right. Well, I'm looking
I
forward to
get
it. I
that.
will buy it. So I'll probably do a more further, review of it someday. But anyway,
Great.
Nice.
let us
Glad
move.
you liked it.
Let's move us back to Lord of Beerstro, as he's still chomping away at this beer.
He's only about 10 ounces deep.
Is it a meal?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, I've had Notorious before. Unfortunately, I had it after I had one of their quad IPAs back in the day, so I think I'm trying to fight my own bias against it.
That was a night you don't remember.
Well, no, what it was is
Quad IPA.
so
What?
so back when Boneyard was still just that garage, I happened upon it and picked up some crowlers. They were doing crowlers at the time too, and I grabbed Notorious. I grabbed Hop Venom because Hop Venom was kind of hard to get at the time.
Yep.
But was still available.
Now it's everywhere.
Notorious. Yeah, I mean it was a different day back then for Boneyard, but
Yeah.
so I got Hop Venom, got Notorious, which was kind of a get at the time, but they also had this quad IPA that I always seem to forget the name, but that was the first one that I had, and that was just far away like the best beer that I've ever had from them. So when I even went back to Hop Venom, which I loved back in the day, and when I tried Notorious, it just always felt lesser than. So in some aspects, I feel like I'm fighting my own bias when I drink Notorious. So I'm just letting you know what I'm grappling with right now. But I mean, it's still a great beer. Don't get me wrong.
Well, there you go. I wonder where this is gonna go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah, like John already knows, I've already taken plenty of scenic routes to not answering questions tonight. So
There you
Yeah,
Hey, drinking beer is hard. That's what I'm learning.
yeah. Oh, you have no idea.
that's hard work.
go. You should see all the beer he has.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
much.
his cellar.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Or the kegerator.
Yeah.
Kegerator
Oh,
full
man.
of non-keg beer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
really
funny.
should deal with that. You should have a one in, one out policy. If you've got to drink one before you can buy another one.
Good luck with that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what do I do when I'm venturing across town to the beer distributor that lets me buy cases at a time?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I mean, the one in, one out, that's just not going to fly. But
You just need
that's
more
fine.
shelves in your refrigerator.
I was
by the
meaning
sounds
one
of it.
case in, one case
Or,
out.
or more friends.
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
friends to kind of raid the fridge, but whatever.
Yeah, we dropped the ball today. We did come down to see you, and neither Ian nor I.
Yeah.
We drank
Yeah.
2 NA beers between us, and you bought 12.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dang.
man.
So we just added to the problem.
Well, I mean, those went in a different
Hey.
fridge, but
Those are good to have around, though.
Yeah.
no, it's like I can finish those like during the week, no big deal.
He also has a
Oh,
no
but-
drinking
I just-
during the week policy, don't you?
Pretty much.
Pretty generally.
Yeah, it's just because it's. I mean, I don't sleep well at all generally, but I want to give myself
Beer
the
doesn't
best
help
sleep that I
matters.
can get during the. What's that?
Beer doesn't help matters really, because once you're sober,
No, it really doesn't. It hinders anything. I mean, this is something that I started when I was working nights.
oh
Just
yeah,
because our already just felt like sleep was just going to be hard to get to begin with. But yeah, beer does not help sleep at all. So anybody drinking nightcaps, you're just fucking yourself. So you might want to put an end to that. But anyway.
Well, tonight's main event, I thought since Jared and Aaron would be here, that they could, since we did it last week, we did our top 3 gaming achievements, and I thought that we could kind of revisit this, and you guys could then, I imagine you guys didn't really think about it, but you must have a few things that you've done video game wise that you're really proud of. So I thought maybe, you guys could list some, and then we just talk about random video game shit after that.
All right. I can go first on this one. I actually had some good thoughts about this one. So one of my best accomplishments is I feel like you guys, except for Nick would not know this one, but a lot of games back in the day had like the 3-4 disc behemoths, and the one in question is my favorite that I wish they'd do a remaster, but I don't think it's gonna come anytime soon. It's been teased.
Baldur's Gate?
No, Legend of Dragoon. That game was on a 4-disc behemoth set. Like it was like this giant book of 4 discs, and at some point you had to go back from disc 3 to disc 2, and you're just like, oh my god, will this game ever fucking end at some point? Because you get to that last disc, like, oh god, this is amazing. I'm at the end. And all of a sudden I had a error. I'm like, no. So I took the disc out, rubbed it off, put it back on. It worked just fine. I'm like, oh, thank God. I have to restart all over again. Beat the game. That made me feel so good. Just being able to sit down and play a 4-disc game and beat it, because that's a lot of game, because you have to get up.
How long was it to beat that one?
Oh my God.
How many hours did you put into it?
It's an 80. I feel like back in the day, these were 20-hour discs. So it's 20-hour discs. So about 80 plus. So it was
Aaron,
yeah.
Did you know that you can play that on your PS5?
And
get trophies?
Did not know this. Okay.
Yeah, you can stream it with their service. I actually played a little bit of it when I had my top tier PlayStation Plus service, whatever they call that one. You can stream it on that service right now.
It's not going to be the same though without that
trophies.
Smudged last disc, is it though?
Yeah, you won't have to worry about discs and swapping and stuff. It just goes.
Yeah, I that's the other thing about it. I'm glad now we're down to 1 to 2 discs, 1 disc now, because it's just, or no disc, digital, because it's God, I just want to be able to sit and do the whole. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind getting up and changing out discs and stuff like that. But at some point, you're just like, do I have to get? Yeah, God damn it.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, a lot of times I'll pick the game that I don't have to get up to put in.
Well, now I'm just wondering why Aaron does the whole thing.
So Aaron, why do you think I can't relate to this? Or
I didn't. Well, no, I only said that because everybody has heard my love affair with Legend of Dragoon, but I don't think you ever heard any of the episodes where
okay, I got you.
I pretty much have a raging hard on for this game, so that's why.
Oh man, be careful, boys. He's gonna start swinging.
Don't put that camera down right now, Aaron.
Okay.
No, but seriously, that's why I didn't. That's the only why.
I wasn't sure what you meant by that.
Sorry, I should have been more clear. That's my bad.
No, hey, whatever. I got clarification, so I didn't know if it was the amount of discs that you had to swap through. I mean,
it was an attack. He hates you.
Well, no. I guess I just didn't understand, but now I do.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we clarified this. So
it's good.
It was just.
We handled this.
Talked about it.
We handled this like adults, but maybe we could fight like.
No fighting.
No, yeah.
What's your number 3, Jared? Or
my number 3 is one of my more recent ones. Is the Platinum and Returnal. I felt very good getting
nice.
That. I really did it because the game to me was super astounding. It was something that just kept me going. It really blew my mind, and I loved every second I played the game. And then there were difficult things to find. I think that was the hardest part for me, is finding stuff, collectibles and things. And when I finally found the last one, it just felt like so good. Like I accomplished something in one of my favorite games of all time.
I think that's what I like
And-
about trophies.
Yeah.
Sometimes is they let you know that you've really beat the game. Like
Yeah.
It always feels good
done
when you get that
everything.
platinum.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, that's probably one of my favorite platinum trophies I've ever achieved in my PlayStation history. Because as you guys know, that game really knocked my socks off, and I couldn't get enough of it when I was playing that. I still want to play it, because there's like that extra section they added, which I beat that, but I still want to go back and do more of that because it was so much fun.
You're not done with the game.
I don't want to be.
Games
it's
you
just
just
hard to
don't wanna
find
be
time to
done.
play the games I have, so I have not been diving back into that.
Right. I get it.
Yeah, but yeah, that is definitely one of my top ones.
Oh yeah.
Dave, John, Nick, did you guys even think any more about this? Like after, did you guys have any like honorable mentions that you forgot? I mean, we can.
I mean, I know we talked about the Destiny
I
raid.
mean-
That was obviously one.
Destiny raid.
Oh yeah, of course.
Playing
We don't need to
Halo
end
3
that.
co-op Legendary with friends.
Oh,
I've
That's
never done that.
that was a big one for me, because we
Not
just
Halo
stayed up
3,
all
but
night
ODST.
and just like drank energy drinks, and then you had the Warthog section at the end of Halo 3, so we're just kind of fucking around with each other and
Yeah, that's kind
kind
of
of
dopey,
kind of
that
getting
section.
annoyed with each other, but still having a lot of fun because it's just
Yeah, I remember
just
playing the
messing
first
around.
Halo. The same thing. It's like just playing a first-person shooter co-op like on the couch was just blew me away. That first like Halo game.
The only Halo game I played multiplayer was ODST.
Oh, that's
And
a good one.
that wasn't even Spartans or anything like that. That was just like the soldiers.
That was pretty fun. I remember that. Bringing over our
Yeah.
TVs and the
Yeah.
360s and
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you were part of that. Yeah,
play the whole
that
day.
was awesome. Yeah,
Noon to
we had some
sundown.
good times. Yeah, that's when we were all bringing our TVs and own
Yeah.
consoles and playing online on the same couch with a bunch of TVs and stuff.
Yeah.
Or
That
that
was pretty great.
time at Jason's where we did
Yes.
the Gran Turismo 5 thing with all
I was-
yeah,
with the
five
5
gonna mention
screens and
that
5
one, yeah.
PlayStation.
5 PlayStation 3s,
It's like, what the
5 Gran
Five-
Turismo copies.
What a waste. What a thing you have to do to get something like that to work. It's like such a stupid
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, well, but then we had a cockpit with a wheel, and we had a fan blowing on our face with a racing helmet.
With a racing helmet. Nick was
When
there.
you have
for
thoughts-
Nerd.
Nick's in that
Yeah,
video.
that's
You were there for that, Nick.
Yeah, I was. I barely remember it,
Yeah.
but I was
When you
there.
have time to kill, anything is possible.
Yeah.
But you're mentioning like honorable mentions, and I just thought of this because I thought I gave honorable mentions last week, but so
Maybe, I
before, yeah, I did too. And then also you apparently forgot to pick up some audio tapes for me too, which like,
Audio tapes?
I don't have to do. Oh, what? You already forgot about that,
I
or
forgot
Yeah,
about that.
the
What did I, what
his
did I-
greatest achievement
That's
audio
right,
tapes
Oh,
of Teenage Nick.
had-
Yeah,
Oh,
You had
that's
those
right.
handy,
Oh,
Nick?
that. Yeah, we didn't
Yeah.
get that.
yeah.
Teenage
I would
Nick
love to
beating
hear
his
that.
50th.
Did you even
50th
pull those
birthday.
out? You
Yeah.
just hoped I
No,
forgot.
I didn't.
Yeah, see, he just hoped I forgot.
Oh, okay.
I forgot to.
That-
Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot.
We
Yeah.
gotta hear that someday.
Yeah, no, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I think we do.
I think for episode
Anyway,
400, we have to open the show with that.
Yeah.
Just
That
random
sounds great.
snippet.
Yeah.
Are you trying to
A
gain
whole-
follows or lose them?
Whatever. Yeah, I think
That would be a
I think
whole
we gained
episode
them.
right there. Got enough tape there to make an episode.
So
Anyway.
this achievement's a little lame because it was before we actually started our Counter-Strike clan, and a lot of us were just regulars on like this other server.
Before it got
Uh,
toxic.
No, it was he was even toxic then. So I mean,
I'm sure
even
it
in
started
this,
being toxic on day one.
Oh,
yeah, I
that's
mean, it was
online
toxic
play.
in
So
beta.
Yeah,
Um,
day zero.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, but
being negative.
this server we went on, they had kind of a ranking system where they kind of gave out like weekly rankings. And I was really happy just with my gameplay that I actually was able to crack the top 10 with a lot of these players because it meant that I didn't completely suck. I mean, uh, I mean, I do suck. I mean, if I go back and play, I'm just gonna get annihilated. But at the time,
I've
it was
yeah.
just kind of a feel good moment to where it's like, oh hey, maybe I just don't suck as bad as I thought I did in this particular server with like a bunch of regulars, which part of that was a lot of fun, just kind of like making online relationships with friends. But even my buddy Jake Castal, who is
Mhm.
posted in the Discord server like once or twice, um, he also frequented freak he played in the server as well, and he was able to attain number one for a week.
Oh wow.
And yeah,
Nice.
so I mean, he was a great.
How many people were in the server?
The server was always full, so it was. I mean, so it was. Oh gosh, I can't even remember how many people were on
Like
each
100
side.
people, 50
No,
people?
no, no, no. It wasn't that large. Um,
Gosh, yeah, I remember those old Counter
I'd have
Strike
to look,
servers.
but
But
I don't know what the limit was. But was it like 10v10
it was
or
something like
Something like
that, yeah.
that. And my
yeah,
record was always being like the first one to die. So I mean, I got
yeah.
it first all the time.
But,
We
Yeah.
recently, I mean, not recently, but like Dave and I, Jared in that? Like we went
Yeah,
back and played CS:GO for a little bit,
we played a little bit.
and it was
Yeah, we
just
played
so
some Go.
crazy toxic.
I was getting my ass kicked. I
yeah.
didn't
We were doing all
enjoy
right,
it.
but I went to go to the bathroom, and then they kicked me. Like they were like,
Yeah.
no, they don't fuck around, man.
Yeah, they were taking it
Yeah,
very
it's.
serious.
I mean, I always felt like it was like Call of Duty before Call of Duty in terms of toxicity, in terms of just
CS, go fuck
some.
yourself.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, essentially. But I mean, the time that I'm referring to is like, yeah, this is like even like summer of 2001, like even pre 9/11 when all
Yeah, I
this
remember
kind of
playing
went
that
down.
about that time, yeah.
Because I mean, I started playing like when it was beta, um, like probably a year prior, and then it became a retail version, and especially Jake and I, it was kind of one of those things where it's just like, hey, we're off work, call them up, like, hey, you ready to play? Yes, I am. All right, let's go, let's do this. And we
Yeah, me and my
we
partner
kind of
used to
found
take
like
turns.
home servers, and then for whatever we just kind of like bounce around, and then we just found this one server and we just kind of like called it home, um, and then you know made some kind of like great connections with people on the internet. I mean, I kind of followed through, and like we eventually kind of created our own little community, and Jake kind of fell by the wayside because what ended up happening is there was like a group of us that um like, and I bring up my ninth place ranking like it means something, but it there was a little bit of a corruption with the people who were policing the server, in that they were just kind of kicking and banning people at random, like um, without any regard. And then they had a forum that you could go and like kind of appeal your ban, but
Oh,
it was, if you didn't appeal it in the right way, then they just kind of like shit talk you the whole time, and then just kind of tell you to fuck off. And so there was just kind of like a group of us that decided that we're just kind of gonna do our own thing,
Hmm.
and we were went and reached out to a lot of these players and kind of either recruited them to be kind of like server admins, like just keep an eye on things like when we're playing, and or in my case, I got to be the forum administrator.
Ooh,
So
Ooh.
kind of
nice.
a
That's
little
an
bit of a
achievement right there.
Yeah, I was going to say, is
Oh,
that the real
yeah.
achievement?
Yeah.
Form
Yeah.
There it
administrator.
is.
Absolute power
Yeah,
corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's how you got
Yeah.
mine.
Ban and kick everybody. You
Yeah.
can- yeah.
Essentially, yes, edit people's posts. It's great.
Power of
But
achievement right there.
so I guess there's a lot more background to some dumb
Yeah.
ninth place thing on some random Counter-Strike server. But I don't know. I'm particularly proud of that. Just especially just that kind of moment in time, and then kind of like what became of it later because of kind of what happened. And I've kind of you can go back in the archives and listen to like kind of the life that Counter Strike kind of afforded me, I suppose.
Are there cassette tapes of this?
No, there are not. Um,
So Jared and Aaron, do you have it? You must have more.
A couple
I
more.
I made my list.
Okay, give them to us.
Yeah. Well, on Super Nintendo beating Super Ghouls and Ghosts
Oh my god.
That's a tough.
oh, how the fuck did that happen?
very carefully.
Very
So
Yeah.
Like, very
I
congratulations.
think I've talked about it on the podcast before
You
for
should
other
stream
reasons,
that.
but
I want to see that
it's
for
it's a
real.
game that you have, it's a struggle to even get to the final boss. And then after you beat the final boss, you'll learn, oh, you have to go through the whole game again because you didn't have this one thing you get at the end of the game, like a ring or a bracelet or something like that, to really defeat the final boss. So you actually have to beat the game twice in
Yes,
a
that's
row.
what I've heard.
And so my secret was using a code to get to the final boss after I learned that, so I could practice on the final boss, and eventually being really good at the final boss. And I just had to get really good at the game to finish the whole thing. So
Very
it
nice.
helps to be able to practice a boss fight when you only have like a limited amount of lives in that game, and then you have to restart. That's back in the 90s, and before that, all the I don't miss continues and only 3 lives and that kind of bullshit. I don't like any of that stuff anymore. Like most of the time I'll refuse games that reset the whole damn thing if you die after a certain amount of times. And yeah, I mean, back in when I was a teenager, I had all the time in the world, so I was like, oh, okay, yeah, just keep pounding my head against this, and eventually I got that feeling, when you win something that you've been working really hard to win. And
But also, there were no
yeah,
saves
that's
back
still a
then
good
either.
memory.
So, it's
Yeah, you
that
could
was
not
kind of the
save.
way
There
it
were no
had to
save
work.
states.
Yeah.
It's a hard
Yeah,
game.
but
Is it a fun game?
I loved it.
Okay.
I did. I mean, after a while, it's back in that era of games. When we were growing up in the 80s. You play games through memorization, and you hone your skills on each level and remember how high you jump before you hit the attack button to attack the next enemy that's going to pop
Yeah, the
up right here. And
timing and
it's all timing, like
absolutely. Yeah.
beating any of those shooters like Gradius and Life Force and all that stuff. You know where all the enemies are going to appear by the end of the game, and you just crush it. It's the same with Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I never did beat Ghosts and Goblins though on NES. I tried and tried and tried. I could never beat that game, but I must have put more effort into Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I don't know which one's more difficult, but
Right.
I achieved that.
Aaron, do you have a second one?
I do. So this one actually involves my first like raid I've ever did and completed with a bunch of everybody. It was on Final Fantasy 14.
Oh yeah.
Realm Reborn. It was with Ian, Jared, Jason,
Mhm.
Brand, I believe, was in on it too, and there was a bunch of other people too. It was one of the first
Oh yeah.
massive raids I ever did on any game like it. I mean, yes, there's Destiny with the 4 of us and other people joined in, but this one felt a little more special because it got a lot more people involved. It was a monstrous raid. I've never been part of anything like that. It feels so good to like just after 2 straight hours at least of doing that, just
That
being the boss. That was amazing.
yeah, that was great. I loved Final Fantasy 14 a lot, and
I did too. It was one of the first games I enjoyed very much of that stuff, and it made me realize that multiplayer games on that type of server are not scary
Mhm.
and not because the PlayStation community is very, very friendly. I don't like Xbox community as much because they're just dicks. I feel like for the most part. For the most part, there are some nice guys in there, but mostly not very nice people. I remember playing
Well,
Halo and they were rude.
what I remember about Final Fantasy 14 raids is
Hmm.
you getting to them your first time and watching the cinematic, and by the time the cinematic is over, you're locked out of the boss battle because everybody skipped the cutscene and got to the boss battle, and you get locked out. You just have to sit
Right,
there and stare at it until they're on the next phase or something like that.
right. Well,
It was
that was the thing though with you guys. You guys actually waited. I was like, oh, cutscene, and you guys kind of just waited till that came out. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, I'm good. That was the thing I
yeah,
liked about that because everybody was that's the thing about the PlayStation community in general. Because even when I did like stuff like that with randos, it was like they were chill enough to wait for the most part. I mean, luckily I was able to get through some cutscenes before they got to the boss, but I was just like, oh, at least people were nice enough to wait. But no, that was one of my favorite raids.
Speaking
Period.
of
One of my favorite
MMOs, did you guys see that they gave Elder Scrolls Online away for free on Epic Game Store this past week?
oh,
No,
is that what's free right now?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was this week.
Okay,
I thought that was funny. It's like, oh wow. Anyway,
yeah, that's great. I played so much of that game. I've I haven't bought an expansion. I've only played a couple hours in it, and I still need to jump into it because they did a PS5 upgrade, so like it does 4K, 60 frames a second, all that stuff, and it runs great. It looks great. Everything. It's still a fantastic game.
Jared, what's your next one?
So, well, so I'm kind of copying Ian, but also running off of Aaron. Uh, since Ian and I began Couch Co-op, Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy 15, Final Fantasy 16, that shows some history, and
Mhm.
I'm very proud of the group that we've been able to harvest over the years and keep together. And I think we've improved our bonds throughout the years and all that stuff. And like one of the things that has been part of my life forever is video games, and that is
Mhm.
where most of my friends have come from. Is a similar interest group kind of a thing. I have very few friends that aren't interested in video games, and it's nice to be able to be myself
Right.
and talk about the things that I love and not worry about, oh, this guy's a dipshit. He likes video games, that kind of stuff. That like back in the 80s and 90s when you were like the only kid in your school that liked that kind of
Mhm.
stuff, and you just kind of had to do it and enjoy it yourself and not talk about it. And
Yeah.
you're not part of the in group being all sportsy or doing drugs or getting trashed and stuff like that. I was just enjoying my video games and my stories, and
I get
making
that.
my own stories. And you guys have been there for many years of it, and
yeah. Can't
that is
imagine
an
Jared on
achievement, I'd
drugs.
say. Yeah, yeah,
Someday,
Yeah.
when he retires, someday.
yeah. When I'm not a CDL driver, I will probably try something. Maybe the creativity will come out. Because I'm not a very creative
He'll just
person.
get lost in this cannabis
Yeah,
haze every time you
yeah.
see him. It'll just be like smoke.
Grows
I'll
his
just
hair
have
out
this
long.
like dream state on my face, like, guys, what do
Maybe
you
he'll
think
start
about
wearing the rave
this?
clothes again, huh, Jared?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah. Back
boy.
back in the day, yeah. Back in the
Boy.
day,
Aaron.
I've gone.
Oh, go ahead. Have you
No,
finished,
No,
Jared?
no,
Oh.
I've gone through phases. Yeah.
Aaron, what's your last one? What's your third one?
Well, I was actually gonna say with to add on with Jared, it's the nine. Like, I got lucky with the whole growing up and games are more accepted now, accepted in the '90s just because they became more popular. But that's not my number one. My number one is actually the very first. Like, this one kind of goes on the MMO thing again. It's not MMO, but more the PvP thing. It's for Apex Legends. It was the first time I ever not only beat a death match against everybody. It's 3-team fire squad, but with Apex Legends. But I got the final kill shot
Oh
and I
wow!
won the whole thing. Yeah, I was like, I almost died.
I didn't even realize you
I
played that.
I did. I did when I lived in King City. I was
Huh.
I was it was when after it was afternoon I was playing. I was in a zone. Like I was able to like just see a guy, get him, see a guy, hopefully he's my team. Luckily he was on my team. And then shortly after he died, then another guy died. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta kill these last 6 guys by myself. And I'm like, okay, bop bop dead, bop bop dead. And then there's this one guy running at me as the last guy after killing the other 5. And I'm like, oh no, he's gonna get me. Oh, the shot works. Bam! Got him.
Fucking
One.
Rambo
I'm like,
over here.
when
Jesus.
I get into a zone, man, I can get into one. But I got him with one last shot. I'm like, what just happened? Like you won. I'm like, huh? Me? Seriously, that's literally my response. I wasn't like trying to be all like, oh, that's cool. No. You guys, I'm terrible at multiplayer games online. Literally, 8-year-olds could whoop my ass at any online game. But when I got that one win, I was like, what?
Time to delete
happened?
the game. I win.
I,
Yeah.
I am
it-
king. No one will beat me from now on.
yes, I am undefeated. I am the greatest.
Yeah.
I think one of my honorable mentions in like a PvP like game. We've had a lot of Rocket League games and we played a lot of Rocket League together. There's been a lot of fun moments. But one of my favorite moments was I was in a rando game. It was a 3v3, and we were getting our asses kicked, and so the other 2 players left.
Oh,
And I stayed in, and I don't know how much we were losing by that point, but the other guys kept playing, and they went scoreless, and I just like did nothing but goaltend the rest of the game. And I'm sure they were taking it easy on me, but they were still trying to like do shit on me. And so I blocked all the rest of the shots. I lost horribly, but in the end, in the comments, they were like really positive. They were like, "Hey man, thanks,
Yeah, that's awesome.
sticking around, blah blah blah, good job." And I thought that was really cool. I always felt like, that's what video games can be. People. That's generally why I never bail from a game, even if.
I know. I never bail from Rocket League because that number of times people bail on you, and it can be 2-1 down, and you're like, we could win this, but you've just made
Yeah.
it unwinnable pretty
Right,
much
right.
by.
Well, that's the other thing I like also about the like I said, it goes back to the community itself. The online community has changed so much because people are far more supportive than they used to be. Because like I said, I remember back
Not in
when
Counter Strike.
Ah,
Yeah,
Or on the
I-
Xbox, apparently.
No, I haven't seen Xbox in a long time, but that was from my previous experiences. But I only have current experience with the PlayStation community, and everyone I met on there is super chill. Just like they're so nice. That's all. And even when I'm like about to get my ass whooped, someone pops in at the last second and it helps out. I'm like, oh, what happened? Okay, I'm not dead yet. This is awesome.
There was a game I was in on Rocket League, and they were kind of toxic. I remember the first one. We didn't lose by that much, but it was the guy was his comments were just obnoxious, and then at the end,
Yeah.
because they won,
I
he goes,
hate that
he goes, he goes, uninstall game, uninstall life, and I was just like, dude,
Uninstall
Huh.
life.
yeah. What?
like we lost by
Install
like 1
face
point, dude.
to
Like
head.
you're not that much better. Like what is
Yep.
this? This fucking, whatever.
Yeah, I've had a couple of douchey
Uninstall
comments
these
like that.
nuts.
Uninstall
sucker.
these nuts from your mouth, bro.
Yep, I hate those type of people. I know that I rarely ever speak highly of that community, but there obviously is some toxicity in that in any online forum, regardless of where you go.
And I don't think it's like that's like
Just
necessarily
throw the
toxic.
comment at them. It's like, hey, go back to your Call of Duty, bro, and leave us alone in
Right.
Rocket League. Yeah, come on, guys.
It's
Right.
not like. I mean, I get drunk and I get a little toxic. It's not like, but it's not like CS:GO where it's like just racial slurs and fucking just
Yeah,
just
it's
awful
generally
shit.
usual, just like
Yeah.
you suck. Worse.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Uninstall
generally
live.
you
I
are
think
sucking when they say
uninstall
that.
game, uninstall life
Yeah.
is kind of funny. It's maybe it's a little toxic, whatever. But it's just like I thought it was funny. Like the CS:GO stuff is just not funny. It's just like it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, last
believe
time
it.
we
I-
were on it, it was pretty epic in that respect.
It's like
I
believe it.
are we?
Anyway,
playing
Jared,
this?
have you got any more?
That was Jared's
No.
3. That was his 3. The
Yeah, I
boys
mean,
did their
I
3.
went
Not
through
them
3, but
Honorable mention, maybe Rayman
mean-
Legends.
yeah. I mean, that is one of the ones I thought of adding to my list because
How long did
that,
it take you to get the platinum on that?
several years of on and off playing because
A special
the-
several years of him saying, I'm going to give up on this. I'm not
Yeah,
going to do it.
yeah.
Wasn't it about the whole life of the PlayStation 4?
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much into the PlayStation 5 because there was, like, hey, cool, you can do these daily challenges and there's a trophy to get to level 11.
Because you started playing that in
And
your
the
apartment.
game carries you through like level 9 and it's easy to get to level 10 and then a level 11 is miles away. Days and days and days unless you're like perfect at achieving each one of the maps. It's going to take you several months straight of play every single day. So I just stopped. I deleted it. And then eventually I had children that loved the game and loved watching me play. So I'm like, all right, going for the platinum. And then
wasn't
I
Scott a
deleted
part of
it
that
again.
though? Didn't
Well, Scott
was.
did get the platinum before me.
yeah,
He-
but like
well,
you guys
I-
were talking about it and you kind of
Yeah.
got back into it because of him, I thought.
Yeah, I
So
did.
you've been playing this
And-
game longer than you've had children, and your children are getting up there now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, whenever the game came out, that was one of the first PlayStation. Actually, I think it was the first game I bought on my PS4. And it took me until forever to get the platinum because it was so much work. And that kind of trophy is, I don't know if I felt like I achieved it or if I just fell into a trap because it's kind of bullshit when companies do that. It's like you can the rest of the trophies are all about the challenge of gameplay and it being fun because it's a superb, like, top tier game. This is like one of the best platforming games ever created. And then they throw in this thing where there's daily challenges. And if you don't do everything perfect and figure out some way to warp the system and you don't get the top tier trophy every single day there, because there's 2 daily and a weekly one and a monthly challenge. So there's a lot of challenges, tons and tons of play. You got to do these all the time, and there's so many ways. You have to
Ubisoft got its hook
really have
into
to be
you.
dedicated.
That sucks.
And
I hate
you
that
have to
shit.
spend so much more time on the game, like hours and hours and hours, months of your life to achieve that final one trophy.
Have you
Like,
installed it on your
I remember-
PlayStation 5 so it tells you how many hours you played that game in total?
It's inaccurate. It's well over 100 plus. But because my daughter's my youngest wants to play it with me all the time and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
a lot of times we're just kind of goofing around. There's like a level that has fun music. Like when you go in the water, it has this funny music, and it's super fun and cute. And like you start on this floaty island. It's a big dumb like floaty island, like you could imagine in like the middle of a lake, inflatable floaty island. And you can bounce around on it, and there's tons of fish under the water, and they start singing a goofy song. It's super
Nice.
fun and cute. It's like this is an advertisement for Rayman to come the fuck back off of mobile. They keep releasing mobile games, god damn it. Bring Rayman back.
There you go. Raymond.
Yeah, bring Rayman back. I will buy it. Absolutely.
Cool.
Oh, there's like a Disney game coming out on the Switch that is Ubisoft, I believe, that is similar, and it's made by the same team. So just knowing that makes me want to buy it. It's like Goofy and Mickey and Donald, and it's platforming and co-op and all that stuff, and it looks super good, and it's by that same team. So I'm like, I might just spend the money on a Disney-ass game just because that team is one of the greatest development teams on platformers.
Hopefully it has
I
daily
can't think of the name
challenges.
of the game. Yeah. It'll be on Switch, so I don't care.
Oh, that's
There's
true.
no
Right.
trophies
There's
or
no
achievements.
trophies.
Yeah, fuck that.
Nintendo don't care.
Yeah, no, they're never gonna have
No.
achievements.
Cool.
Never.
Aaron, you weren't here in the very beginning. Do you have a mobile minute this week?
No. I started something. I just want to give it a proper review. So no, I don't have one this
No
week.
worries then. No worries.
So going on mobile minute. So Google Play has a feature for PC where you can download app to play Google games on your PC.
Okay.
So I tried
Okay.
that because I wanted to try a couple of certain games on the PC, but it's currently in beta and very limited, and all titles I searched for are not available on it. I hope that it becomes available, like every title on PC sometime. I'm sure there's platforms people have created where you can just play whatever the fuck you want on that, but I usually just try and do official things. I was trying to play Sky Children of the Light on my PC, but I cannot because it's not on that Google Play PC app. So yeah,
Fine.
it's a thing, and they're testing it. So I hope it progresses so I can enjoy, halfway decent mobile games on a screen that is not my cell phone.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption.
Well, Beerstro, you want to wrap up? Announce the winner. Let us know what you closing thoughts.
Are you still here?
Yeah. Are you one
Barely.
with the world?
Barely.
No, that much notorious.
Are you beer
maybe
are you
you
beer
need to
battered?
get out of these multi IPAs and stuff like that, huh?
Yeah, I need to get off this. But yeah, I'm gonna give it to Notorious this week.
Oh,
Damn.
man.
Oh my
We
Wait,
god.
keep
who is the
climbing.
dueler?
And
Uh,
and it was still pretty close. Like I had to and thankfully I had the Crowler because I still kind of went back to Notorious after the first pour, but Optimum was still good, but I just think
Optimum.
Notorious was a little better.
What are the alcohol
IBUs?
percentages on them?
Well, Optimum's 11. I don't know off the top of my head because
Oh, the can
It's
doesn't have it.
pretty neck and neck.
Yeah, I want to say it's
Probably on the
I wanna
internet
say,
since Dave
yeah,
searches
Notorious
vigorously.
I mean,
11.5 on Notorious.
okay.
Yeah,
So
they're pretty neck
still
and neck.
Oh,
very
right. Yeah.
Which one tastes more boozy?
Notorious.
I never had Notorious. I've only had Optimum, and that one was like rocket fuel to me. But
Oh man.
to me,
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do the barley wine series next, okay?
barley wine brawl.
Whiskey aged.
Nick has a bunch of that shit, dude. So,
Yeah, I bet he does. Yeah,
No, I don't.
aging
oh, you drink it all?
to perfection.
Oh,
Aren't you a big
No, I
barley
don't-
wine guy?
I am, but I don't have any.
Oh,
no.
oh, you drank
Because
a
it's
bunch.
too
at,
good to
at,
store.
At, that's what it was, right?
Yep.
When you were in.
What's that?
When you were in Bend. Was it Bend?
I'll,
For the fourth?
if I can get my.
Didn't you drink? Isn't that what you were drinking?
No, I was drinking sours
Oh,
for the
sours,
fourth
that's
because it was
right.
for Jared.
Yeah.
And by the way,
Good sour.
Jared, have you had any of those?
I had the really old one that you got me that was bottled in like 2018 or something like that, and it was delicious.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't remember which one
Good.
that was, but all the
It
rest
was
of
a
those are currently stored
Russian
away.
River.
Yeah.
the only
Yeah.
thing I'll
Yeah,
drink.
good stuff. I forgot to throw a picture in the group for you. But yeah,
Shame
thank
on
you
you.
for that beer. Yes, I know. I need to
Shameless
share
man.
every drink. I better take a picture of this Rolling Rock I'm drinking right now too, because you guys will hound
No,
me.
it's just if
Yeah,
you have a
Rolling
special
Rock.
drink and if you have a special experience with it, share it with the group.
Well, I think you looked at it and you're like, yeah, I might want to drink this one. It's you looked at the date. It's like bottled in 2018 or something like that, 2016. It's pretty
Yeah, it
old.
was.
So I was like, yeah, I better throw this one in the fridge and enjoy this one soon.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
wasn't sure what the turnout was going to be because I didn't know. I mean, it's old, but I didn't know if it was like sitting out on a warm shelf the entire time, or
yeah,
or
it
what its
seems like it
story
was
was, or if it
stored
even affected by
fairly
it.
average temperature. Yeah, it didn't have notes of not being stored properly. So I'm looking
I'm just
forward to
glad
all the
you
others. I'm
enjoyed it.
just waiting. Yeah, I'm just waiting to drink the other ones, and maybe I'll bring one on my camping trip or something like that, just to enjoy while hanging around a campfire.
It's the best place to
It
do
sounds
it.
nice. Yeah, campfire beer is something else.
I agree.
I'm ready.
Cool.
I agree.
All right. Well, there you
Yeah.
go. That's that. Let's rock.
Notorious is notorious.
Is gonna be notorious. You're gonna have to keep
Notorious.
getting can growlers now.
I know.
Crowlers.
Or just find a
And I have
four-pack.
to get Duran Duran to help me out with this.
Mr.
Yeah.
Crowler.
Or Ozzy. Fine.
Yeah.
Let's do some couch co-optionals, and then get out of here. What you got, Jared? You got
Alright.
anything?
Don't be scared to replace parts in your PC.
Don't be.
Well, last week when you guys were recording, my PC was dead. I could not start it, and it's because I upgraded too many things and was running too much shit on it. And my power supply was too weak, so I just bought a new power supply and popped it in, and now I'm back up and running. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, so I started with the base. Like, I hope it's not all these other things, so I'm just going to start with electricity.
Something simple. Yeah.
There you
Sounds
go.
good.
Nick knows all about electricity right now.
Not yet.
Not yet. Almost.
Yeah,
How about you, Dave? What do you got?
I actually watched a animated movie on Netflix with my son. It was called Nimona, and it was kind of dragons and knights, but kind of in the modern day, and it was really quite fun. I quite enjoyed it. In fact, I ended up watching it twice with them because they wanted to watch it again, and I actually found myself the second time paying attention. It wasn't like, sometimes you watch a movie and then the second time you're just fiddling with your phone or whatever when kids
I
have
think I
stuff
saw
on.
the trailer for that one.
It was a lot of fun. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Cool. Nick. What do you got?
I don't have anything.
Nothing.
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 Why don't you do the
Okay.
tuna melt? Tell us about the tuna
Oh,
melt.
Wayward Sandwich.
Have a good sandwich shop.
Delicious little tuna melt. They're opening a place in Oregon City, which people don't shut up about.
Ooh,
Damn.
So
Okay.
cool.
We're moving on up.
I'm definitely not
Yep.
going to go to Oregon
the
City for
east
that.
So
I get that
yeah,
one.
Wayward Sandwiches based in Canby and expanding into
The OC.
Oregon City.
The real OC.
You could have a tuna melt like I had, or Dave. He had a wonderful Reuben.
Yeah, that was a good Reuben.
Don't get the
Yeah,
BLT
their
because
Reubens are
No, the
apparently
BLT was fine. I prefer.
No,
Oh.
well, because your complaint was instead of an actual tomato, they put tomato jam.
Yeah, they
on
make
it?
like this
That's
like
weird.
sweet tomato jam that complements the smoky bacon. So it's a good sandwich. I just prefer a nice piece of thick slice of tomato on my BLT. That's all. That's all.
And
That
and
makes sense.
you'll get in some sort of bizarre world thing. Brandy has your back on this because she believes
Ooh.
Wayward kind of does. They're a bit of a try hard company, or they try a little too hard with some of the stuff. Just because the turkey burger she had, they like threw some super fragrant stuff into the
That's
turkey
weird.
patty, and it just
Huh.
turned her off.
No, I could see
And it
that.
was sad because
Sometimes you just want the traditional. But sometimes, a
Yeah,
little
exactly.
flair is fine too. I don't know.
Well,
Mhm.
the
I don't know, a
Kroger
little-
or Fred Meyer brand turkey burger patties, the seasoned ones, are pretty good actually.
yeah. Well, I mean,
If she
it
hasn't
was
tried those.
she just wants a little like kind of no muss no fuss sort of deal,
Yeah.
not just trying to elevate something for the sake of elevating it.
Right.
I don't know.
10-4.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so that was my
Couch co-optional.
I have
Go get the
nothing.
tuna
Yeah,
melt.
my-
Nick loves it. It's all he ever orders, our understanding.
I love the
Yep.
yes.
So,
Tuna melt's awesome.
I'm sorry. Dave just mentioned Nimona, which is new on Netflix. But then, as I was searching for it, I realized that the Dragon Prince season 5 is now out.
Oh.
I thought it
It's
wasn't
fine.
until the 27th, but you can watch it now, and I'm very excited. I love that series. As I've mentioned every single season at least once on this podcast.
Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you have.
I'm sure
Yeah.
we can't wait to hear about it again.
And I'm sure
Yes.
you don't care one bit.
Aaron.
Zero fucks given
Aaron.
from at least 5 dudes on this podcast.
Aaron,
Yeah.
what's your
I-
couch co-optional, Aaron?
So I know my thing is actually a recommendation off of what Nick said a couple times of exploring Oregon more. A couple weeks ago, I went out to Willamette Mission State Park out towards Kaiser with my cousin-in-law, played some disc golf, and I gotta tell you, we were only there for a few hours. It was 90-degree weather. It was almost insufferable heat. Worth it because it was a nice little brief reset for my brain because I took the weekend off. I work weekends for anybody who doesn't know who just decided to tune in the podcast. I work weekends because I have Wednesday, Thursdays off because I watch my daughter those days. And I took weekend off and decided I want to go do some disc golfing with my cousin out of all things, a cousin-in-law. And it was
Nice.
great. And I say go to your local state park and is just they're fantastic. I mean, there's so many in Oregon alone. I don't know, and there's a ton in Washington. In fact, the Northwest alone is has some of the best, most unique state parks I've ever seen. And
Have you been
wanna
Dabney out in Troutdale, Aaron?
I was going to. I have not. I've heard about that place so many times, but I went to McIver though out in Estacada.
McIver is a really good park. I like it there.
Oh, it's beautiful. It is gorgeous out there. I want to take a camper out there and go overnight one of these days with the fam.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mentioned Dabney because they also have a disc golf course too.
Yeah, that. Yeah, my wife told me about that place. She's played there a few times, and she's played there with her friends several times, and they have a lot of tournaments out there. And I'm nowhere near that level of good. I haven't played since before my daughter was born, and I was good.
A little rusty, huh?
Very rusty.
And there's and if you ever venture out to Central Oregon, if you're gonna go see your Sun River Brewing in-laws, apparently there's a couple courses out in Bend and Redmond that you may want to check out as well.
There is one of my dream ones you're talking about. You actually go up Mount Bachelor and you play down the mountain. It's like a whole day affair. I'm like, that sounds fun, but it sounds dangerous at the same time. Because if that disc catches the updraft, it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
Like someone else can have it on the other side of the valley. They can have it. I'm
Aaron
not
was last
sure.
seen throwing discs on Mount Bachelor.
Yeah, it's only during the summer though. But no, we plan on going to Sun River. We want to go to Sun River sometime soon because it's beautiful out there, and it'll be perfect time when we'll be boiling alive. So it'll be September if anything.
Hey.
Cool.
Outside of peak season, I mean, that's the best time to go to Central Oregon, as far as I'm concerned. But
I agree. That's last time we went. Actually, was in off season. It was fantastic. It was not crowded. Everybody was nice. No stuck up rich tourists there. It was very cool.
All right. Cool. Sun River. Do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
JPK,
Right.
what's yours?
JPK.
I listened to a podcast today, and you can catch it on YouTube. Jim Cornette on Colin Thompson and Cass Media. So Jim Cornette is some
Conrad Thompson, by the way.
AEW or Colin Thompson is the CEO of Cass Media. So Cass Media is a podcast conglomerate. And Jim Cornette is he's some wrestling sportscaster. AEW, or I think is what he does. But anyways, they talk about him and his co-host talk about how Cass Media tried to steal their advertising money. So then they just went on a 1 hour diatribe of just talking about them going back and forth with Cass Media. And they're pretty colorful characters. Like at one point, Jim Cornette says something like, "I'm fucking this dog. You're holding its head." So they are using like colorful language like that.
Oh, goodness.
But it was just interesting because I don't know if you guys seen Cass Media around. I've seen them around with different podcasts. And so to hear that they're essentially or allegedly going bankrupt and they're trying to get bought up by someone else so then they can just cash out on the stock options. It was just kind of interesting to hear what you think is a relatively successful company. And then once again, it's all smoke and mirrors. So I'd recommend it.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
I love Jim Cornette, by the way. He's super opinionated on stuff. And he's always been that way. He's a very outrageous character. Especially just in the wrestling space, but I mean, he's just super opinionated. But yeah, just to kind of back up John's plug. I love Jim Cornette. I mean, he's just, I could listen to him talk about anything, but that's just me.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right.
Oh, I don't know. What should I pick?
I'm loving it. Oh,
I'll pick my Ninja Turtle statue.
Yeah,
see
yeah.
off
Bring
the
that into the
distance.
camera. Let's. I'm gonna.
Let's see what looks like
Which
Leo.
one though?
Yeah.
Which one's the best?
Yeah.
I think it's Raffy.
Which one's the best? I mean,
Isn't it the samurai one?
Well, of course, Ian says Leo.
well, my favorite character is Leo, but I think the best. I think the best one is Michelangelo.
I can see that. I've always liked Raphael.
Because he
Raphael
encapsulates, well, within the statue he encapsulates a lot more of what's going on. So he's got a slice of pizza.
What series is this? What company
he's
made this?
skateboarding. He's got his nunchuck, and he's kind of busting through a wall. And I like this is a crazy detail. So his foot on the skateboard is actually upside down, like to flip it, like you would do some like trick, as
Kickflip
opposed to
style.
it just sitting there flat on it. So it's kind of cool.
Nice.
It's from the
like this
studio
in a
is
movie.
called Iron Studios, and they the line is they're just called minis because they do full size statues too, like more
Okay.
realistic looking. This art design is a little more cartoony, but they have like a line of X-Men and different characters. But the Ninja Turtle one was really cool.
So-
and I
Yeah.
initially only bought the Leonardo one. because I'm a Leonardo fan. But when I
Yeah.
got it, I was like, it was way cooler than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be cool, but I didn't think it was gonna be. And I said, fuck it, I'm gonna buy them all. Because then you kind of put them all together, and they kind of form the group, and it looks cool, and
Yeah, it does.
this is a completely optional thing because no one's gonna go out and buy this, really, unless you're just a fucking nerd. So, but yeah, I think it's really
Are
cool.
you gonna get April?
They don't have April. It was just the 4 Ninja Turtles.
Okay. So they're
He would
sexist.
have.
I don't know. I don't know if I would. I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't.
So you're sexist.
No. I just don't really. I don't really care for April.
Nah,
She's just
she's
not a
kind of
core
blah.
character.
I don't really care
She's kinda
for.
blah.
I think the only other character.
Casey, maybe.
I mean, I have April. Like, I
Yeah.
have my Ninja Turtles up there on my other wall.
Mhm.
They're up here. You can't see them, but So I mean, I'm not sexist. I just think. I mean, maybe she. I don't know. It depends on what she would be doing. I don't know.
Speaking of turtles, I need to finish reading the Ronin books.
Oh yeah,
I'm on like part 4.
you're almost there.
It's really good. Yeah. I
Big
borrowed it
turtles.
on. It's available at Portland Library, so I downloaded the digital copy from there.
Anywho, all right, let's
Yeah.
get out of here.
All right.
It for Sea Hills.
Yes, sir.
Out of here.
Yep.
Go listen to Jim Cornette on your own time.
I want to thank you all for listening. It reminds you to leave feedback at thecouchcoopshow@gmail.com. I want to thank Jared, Dave, Nick, Aaron, and John for joining me here on the couch. For Couch Co-op, I'm Ian, reminding you to please be excellent to each other.
Ah.
Oh, stallions.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, what Nick said. Yeah, but not really. Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, if you're
all that
playing
counts as
Counter-Strike, go fuck
strike is-
yourself.
Ah. Just don't delete the server. Don't delete from life, please.
Couch co-op.
Sorry.